It is almost 3 years of President Hakainde Hichilema in office. Despite taking over a country which was on the verge of economic collapse with defaulted debts, skyrocketing inflation, and deteriorated rule of law, President Hakainde Hichilema devised a strategy to rebuild the economy and widen the democratic space in the country. Zambia has been growing its democracy steadily. This has seen different personalities joining politics and participating in the political landscape. One such personality is Hakainde Hichilema, an economist, farmer, and self-styled politician. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema came into the political limelight in 2006 as leader of the United Party for National Development, UPND, after the demise of the founding president, Mr. Anderson Mazoka. That same year, Hichilema led the party into a general election to unseat the then ruling Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. However, the results were disputed as the UPND claimed that the election was rigged. In 2008, he again participated in the presidential by-election after the demise of the then president, Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. 2011 was another general election year in which Mr. Hichilema and the UPND participated, and this time he lost to Michael Chilufya-Sata of the Patriotic Front, PF, who emerged winner. Despite the loss, Hichilema relentlessly continued to lead the UPND, rallying his supporters and calling for change. The party's message resonated with many Zambians who felt ignored and marginalized by the ruling party. However, the Patriotic Front continued to use tactics to suppress the UPND and maintain their grip on power.
It is my duty to correct these mistakes. Together, we are going to change this country for the better.
After the death of the then President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Michael Sata, in 2014, a presidential by-election was set for 20th December 2015. In this contest, Mr. Hichilema became the main opponent to the Patriotic Front candidate Edgar Lungu after receiving the backing of several MMD members of parliament. Despite having received 40% of the vote, Mr. Hichilema did not make it as Mr. Lungu was elected with 47% of the votes cast. When Mr. Lungu became president of Zambia, things became tough for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, HH, as he was fondly called. In 2016, the country went to the polls again, but the campaigns were marred with political violence and intimidation from the ruling Patriotic Front. One incident was the Shiwangandu fracas, where UPND members who included Honorable Mtalena Lumango and former First Lady Maureen Mwanawasa were attacked by PF cadres. The UPND faced another setback when they lost the 2016 elections to the Patriotic Front PF, with Edgar Lungu being declared the winner. The road to the next general election was even more difficult for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, as he was living in fear of being victimized. He could not make any move without state police being unleashed on him and his supporters, in some cases being blocked at the airports.
Let me go. You have detained me here for almost 2 hours now. It's not right. This is illegal. What you're doing here is illegal. Please allow us to go into town. If you want, get your vehicles, count us here, drive us into town, into some lodge. That's it. But that too is illegal. But if that's what you want to do, do it. I'm not leaving this place. I'm here. You can arrest me. Come in. Take me. I'm available. You've arrested me 15 times already. You can take me instead of a standoff like this. What's happening like this, Mr. Lungu? What's happening? So, what crime are you going to charge me? As a commissioner, he's commissioner.
Yes.
So what crime are you going to charge me?
Sir, you are talking. You stopped me from talking.
Whilst in the opposition, Mr. Hichilema was arrested several times on different accusations, one of them being treason charge, which made him spend 127 days in prison, a situation which traumatized not only him but his family, friends and supporters.
They just wanted to kill my husband. They wanted to kill my husband. And this war which they've started, I think this is like they're sitting on a volcano which is going to erupt, and it will be so difficult for them to contain. We were in that room from 22 hours, beating all our workers. They were, all of them now, they're in the cells. They tortured them, they beat them, they brutalized them, and then they were asking, where is your boss? Where is your boss? At first they didn't want to say. But then one of them, they got, he took them to our room there. Where is your boss? Where is your boss? Beating him, and the boy was crying. I could feel, I said, then Rachel said, my friend, let me go. I said, no, you're not coming out. It's you they want. It was 22 hours. Why do they have to come at night to pick you? All these years, Hakainde is a law-abiding citizen. When he's caught by the police, he's always there. I don't know what went wrong this time around. That they should come at 23 hours to come and pick him. He said, can I come out? Because they're going to kill my workers. I said, no, don't come out. Because if you come out, they will take you at night. And we don't know where they're going to take you. There's no witness here. It's just the police. They're going to kill you where they're going to take you there. You wait until it's daybreak, and then at least there will be people around. Your lawyers will be here. Then you can come out, and then they will take you.
Many of the charges were later dropped, as they were only meant to punish and deter him from participating in politics. Hakainde Hichilema oftentimes avoided attacks by the PF cadres, and in one incident escaped through the roof after an interview at a local radio station in Ndola. Most of the UPND members suffered during the reign of Mr. Edgar Lungu. In fact, the rule of law deteriorated beyond human imagination. Some people lost their lives at the hands of the then ruling party cadres, while others died out of police brutality. The shooting of Mapenzi Jibulo, Lawrence Banda in Kawoma, Nsama, and many more are good examples of lawless leadership Zambians had to endure. The Sesheke by-elections fracas is another example many people will live to remember with shock. During PF and Mr. Lungu's reign, the democratic space plummeted, such that no opposition political party would be allowed to hold meetings. If one dared, it would always end in tear gassing.
Yes, again. Excuse me. Stop. No, you should teach each other.
Our party brought democracy to this country. And MMD will insist on ensuring that democracy continues in this country. Keep us. Respect our president. This is a former president. Protect our president. A former vice
Mr. President, come on. Mr. President, use this door. You come use this door.
Mr. President, my president.
No, come.
I'm with my president. Oh, you were voting? The message is president.
On the other front, corruption and abuse of public resources was the order of the day, such that, dubiously and corruptly, money was obtained shamelessly and flashed by the ruling party politicians, including Mr. Edgar Lungu as leader. Setting things in motion, on 14th February 2021, at the elective general conference, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema was re-elected as UPND party president, and on the 23rd of February 2021, Mutalena Lumangu was appointed as his vice president. Prior to 2021 general elections, the UPND formed an alliance dubbed the UPND Alliance with several other political parties. After 3 months of campaigns, the activities were briefly suspended due to the death of Zambia's first president, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, who passed on in June 2021. Another campaign suspension was instructed by the Electoral Commission of Zambia due to the incidents of political violence in Lusaka, Mpulungu, Nakonde, and Namwala districts. One incident of political violence in Lusaka happened in Mutendere area as UPND members were on a roadshow when they were attacked by PF cadres. Another incident was when Mr. Hakainde Hichilema was on a roadshow in Kanyama compound and Kamwala area. Moreover, several UPND members countrywide were attacked by cadres from the ruling Patriotic Front. During this time, police brutally became rampant as members of the UPND got beaten and tortured for merely exercising their rights and freedoms to assemble, among others. Few days to the 2021 general election, Mr. Edgar Lungu, then president of Zambia, announced that he would hand over power to himself and thereafter arrest Hakainde Hichilema again.
This desire to sell the country's minds back to those people by HH will not be tolerated. It simply means that when I come back after election on the 12th, but no, after 2021. It is important to teach people a lesson, especially incorrigible. Incorrigible.
I will be president until the winner from tomorrow's presidential election is sworn in. I am hopeful and prayerful that I will be the winner so that I hand over the instruments of power to myself.
On 12th August 2021, Zambia went to the polls. After a heavily contested general elections and verification of results, as usual, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema took an early lead. When most votes in the constituencies were counted and results verified, it was clear that Mr. Hakainde Hichilema had carried the day. After almost 23 years in opposition, Mr. Hichilema and his running mate, Mrs. Mutalena Lumangu, were elected President-elect and Vice President-elect of Zambia with 59.2% of the vote. The UPND polled 2,852,348 votes and a 20.31% margin from the runner-ups candidates Edgar Lungu and Nkanduluo. The whole country burst into jubilation.
Hichilema Hakainde S. to be President-elect of the Republic of Zambia this 16th day of August 2021.
On August 24, 2021, President-elect Hichilema was sworn in as the 7th President of the Republic of Zambia.
I, Hakainde S. Hichilema, having been constitutionally elected to the office of the President of the Republic of Zambia, do swear that I will faithfully and diligently discharge my duties and perform the functions in this high office, that I will uphold and maintain the Constitution and the laws of Zambia, and that I will dedicate my abilities to the service and welfare of the people of Zambia without fear, favor, or ill will. So help me God.
Ushering in the new dawn era, in his inaugural address, President Hichilema was resolute in his words as he pledged to tackle corruption, restore the rule of law, bring in foreign investment, and create jobs for the millions of unemployed Zambians. Since forming government, the UPND has managed to bring sanity to Zambia, a country that was once marred with violence and inhuman treatment of political opponents.
There is no political violence being exacted on those holding views divergent to government. What we must be saying right now is that there is widening democratic space in this country. So to say there is a shrinking democracy is being unrealistic in real terms. That is being unrealistic, because when something has to shrink, it has to be in a certain state. Now, shrink means it was bigger, it is becoming smaller. When you look at the democratic space in this country today, is there anybody who can genuinely stand up and say that space has shrunk? It's being unrealistic. That is the fact on the ground.
Sanity in markets and bus stations has been restored. Previously, these spaces were run by the ruling party cadres who illegally collected money from the traders and bus operators for their benefit. Today, the story is different, as traders and owners of businesses in these areas acknowledge the positive changes.
Because of cadreism, but apa how to render fyo mutende nangu pa station apanga ole pita pa mtendere market how to render fyo bwino takwali kuitukumula pa kwenda bantu bonse bafe chimo chine takwa bati uyu ali muchipani uyu ali muchipani to afe chimo chine bonse.
As bus drivers, what we really appreciate is the abolishment of cadreisms, it was a big challenge. It used to be a big challenge to drivers because you have to ish out money every time you make a stop to pick up passengers. But at this point in time, we just work on our own. We have our own cooperatives as bus drivers where we make our own contributions. So we just want to appreciate the president and that this spirit of work should continue. And we know he's trying hard, but we want to see more. We want to see more of this positivity.
See our president, if he has gone somewhere, when he's coming back, this government, no one would be taken here, going to airport to receive the president, no. By that time, it was just being by force. They will catch you, they will beat you, they will throw you into a minibus. Then they will take you to the airport. You have come to look for something to eat, but they disturb your business.
On the political front, opposition political parties often struggle to organize meetings to meet their members and mobilize support.
There is one on Zambia being in a state of national security or insecurity because the people are not allowed to hold meetings. Just let me understand one thing. Don't we have a season when we can start campaigning and gathering and holding public meetings and rallies? Really, Zambia, are you saying we should be campaigning from 2016 to 2021? I tend to think that sometimes it calls for common sense. You can mobilize, yes, somehow as a political party, but are we going to have the frenzy that goes with campaigns during the last 3 months or 6 months of elections? Don't we have a season when we can begin doing these things?
Those who managed to do so risked brutal violence from the ruling party cadres, and in some cases, police were used to infringe the freedom of association against political opponents.
There was purely a breakdown of the rule of law, that the non-state actors, being political party cadres, had usurped state powers. The law enforcement officers, such as police officers, were helpless in terms of maintaining law and order when it related to political party cadres of the ruling class who occupied the space at that time, being in public markets, in bus stations, on the streets, on the roads. You would only just put a party regalia on the dashboard of the vehicle. No police officer would stop you.
With the coming of the UPND government into power, public expectations were high, as most citizens believed that the new Dawn government would offer opportunities for democracy and good governance to flourish. In fulfilling these expectations, the UPND government has eliminated cadreism and political violence. The move has ushered in a new era where members of the public are allowed within the confines of the law to engage freely on various issues of national interest.
Well, I'll tell you that today I can go and have a radio interview at any of these TV stations or radio stations, and I'll not look over my shoulders that somebody's going to come and interrupt our proceedings. I think that is commendable and that should be encouraged. We want to see more of that as opposed to stopping opposition from participating freely in the political activities. So them allowing or stopping their cadres from gouging into radio stations and TV stations, I think is something that is commendable.
You know, over a very long period of time, as civil society and even other stakeholders, we have really, gone to the moon and back, asking successive governments to enact, an access to information law in order to advance the transparency agenda, to advance the accountability agenda, and generally to advance the good governance agenda.
I should be able to also, of course, single out, for example, the Minister of Communication. At least he was on record to recognize the statements, for example, made by the church, and be able to say we will reflect, we will introspect, and interact and engage. That will give them credit because in the past, you know, you would hear very senior people rubbishing some of these statements.
Let me borrow or lean on the findings of the Afrobarometer survey findings. It showed clearly that about 50 to about 60% of the Zambians believe that there's a marked improvement in terms of rule of law. If you make a comparison of what was happening during the PF government and what is happening in the New Dawn government. When we make comparisons, we can pick out a number of cases. For example, we saw a situation where political party cadres were more powerful than the police service, and they could storm government offices, causing havoc, storm police stations, causing havoc, and they would go scot-free. I think this, to an extent, has been addressed. We are seeing a marked improvement in that score.
Political opponents are now free and can meet their members without victimization or indeed intimidation. So one wonders why those in political spectrum, especially the opposition, claim that there is shrinking democratic space under the reign of President Hakainde Hichilema.
Democracy in Zambia is thriving. There is more freedom of speech today. There is more freedom of the media today. There is more freedom of expression today. There is more freedom of association. Today, people are moving freely. The president has gone ahead to insist that when you get arrested, police or any other investigative agency should only arrest if they have done investigations. They have a prima facie case that this matter can end up reasonably in court.
Fellow citizens, so quickly, natulabakale fialechtika kunumako, not too distant, but baby. That's what we members say. But I'm saying, have we forgotten what was happening behind us, not far behind, just very near? That some of us couldn't use airports, couldn't go to church, couldn't go to traditional ceremonies. Ngawaya ni chiluburi. Chibakupuma. Sana. Mulopa was a normal thing. Blood was a normal thing in the markets, daily. That intercity blood was normal. Simpson building around there, it was normal. Have we forgotten, colleagues? And one of our commitments to the people of Zambia was when you put us in office, we will restore order and the rule of law. I'm here to stand, and I stand here, so to say, to reinforce that position.
The New Dawn government has done more for Zambia, to the disappointment of naysayers, through its commitment to development, progress, and positive change. With a proper yardstick to measure democracy in Zambia, one would see that the country's democratic space is intact and widening. This is a new dawn indeed.